All right. I had some technical difficulties a couple days ago doing this, so now I'm trying again and it's working. Today's March 30th, and March is almost over. God, I'm realizing time passes quickly. Time passes quickly. This will be an interesting update because good and bad. Good and bad. Let's go over what I did specifically in March. Let's see. We had the March started off with me and Kelly going abroad. We had a work trip in Manila, and man, I can't believe that was the beginning of the month. Um, so my in-laws were in town to watch the kids. We went to Manila for a quick 4-day work trip. Went really well. I think business is looking really good, which is pertinent because it allows me to focus on music. When I'm doing the music, I can focus and not worry so much about the business, which we'll get into shortly. So it also means that I feel more confident in allocating resources to my music. Okay, so March, then Electric Monk, we played a show at this tattoo festival, and it was like a once in a lifetime. I don't know. It was a very unique experience. It was a unique atmosphere. Just think like that we were in this big banquet hall, and there were probably like I don't know, 150 people who were giving tattoos, who were tattoo artists, or helping those tattoo artists, or receiving tattoos. There were like 50, literally 50 tattoo stations in this hall. And so you have this crowd. It feels pretty good because there's probably like 150 to 200 people there. And you have this big crowd, but everybody's motionless because they're like giving tattoos, getting tattoos. And then there's this like heavy rock or metal music playing. And it was quite an interesting experience. And then us, we were probably the least heavy band. Not probably, we were the least heavy band performing. We were, Electro Monk's like a punk rock band. So we were a little bit out of place. But had Project Maximus played, that would have been super out of place. But it was fun. It was fun. And then we'd have like 10 or 15 people on the side of the stage who were like rocking out. So it was a unique atmosphere. We had fun, and then one of the bands we played with, we're going to be playing with them again next month. So, all right. Then Project Maximus quickly got together. We had 3 rehearsals. It was probably a bit taxing, tiring. We got ourselves in shape to perform 11 songs. And then I decided to cut out 2 songs, so we only did 9 songs when we went on tour. And I learned something. It was like an epiphany. I don't know why it took me so long to realize it, but I wish I had allocated our rehearsals better to focus on those 9 songs. Originally, I thought we were going to do all 11. And I realized that I really like to do shorter sets. I want to do the best songs and do them the best that we can. And if people want more, they want more. But I'm not going to give you more. I'm not going to prepare for more unless you really want it. So that was the epiphany I had. I think I saw somebody on Instagram talking about keep your sets short and tight. And it made sense to me. It's like, just always err on the side of less and leaving the audience wanting more than giving them too much, and then they're over it, So okay, that's changing how I fundamentally approach my set list building. It's also fundamentally approaching how I work in rehearsal. Instead of just trying to do more and more and more, I think we do less and less and less, but go deeper, 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 and more repetitions. Okay. So we went on tour, performed in Taichung, we performed in Hangzhou again. The turnout was abysmal. At Taichung, there were literally 2 people in the audience who weren't part of staff, weren't part of the bands. Two people at the show. Um, one one person was really cool though. She's Indonesian, solo traveling through Taiwan. Um, and well, I don't know if she's solo traveling, but she was out by herself. Um, but she's traveling through Taiwan. She's Indonesian. She was super flattering and complimentary of my band, of me afterwards. Maybe because she's just being nice. I don't know, but we chatted a bit, quite a bit, and then she had just wandered in because she wanted to see some live music. But what was interesting is that at the end of this 5-minute conversation we had, suddenly I said something, whatever, and then she realized, and her jaw dropped. She didn't realize that this was my music that we performed. She thought we were like a cover band playing. So anyway, I took it as a big compliment. I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah, this is all original music. She said that she thought we were just playing a lot of songs, that she hasn't heard of, Western songs or Chinese songs that she doesn't know. So she was really shocked, and that made me feel good. And it reminded me of this time at this open mic at Red Point way back in the day when I played Because of You on the piano by myself. So it was a really, really different rendition of Because of You. And this dude came up to me afterwards, like, dude, I love that song. What is it? What's that song called? I told him. He was like, yeah, like, what was it by? I don't know why. And I was like, it's my song. I don't think you've ever heard it before. And that also, and the guy did not believe me. He kept, no, really, what's the song? I'm like, it's my song. But yeah, I guess I write, for better or worse, but mostly better, I think. I write very familiar tunes, like songs that are earworms that make you think you know them. So it is a double-edged sword though, because I also always freak out thinking that I'm plagiarizing music. But anyway, all right. So Taichung, that girl was cool. It also left me with the impression that I need to be. I do need to make sure I mention that this is all original music, enjoy, because you might not realize it as an audience member. I said it one time at the start of the set, but I never said it again, and she missed the beginning of the show, so she had no idea. And I could have mentioned it one or two more times during the set. I usually feel like I'm doing it too much because I always give background on the song. So then even though I'm not saying this is all original music, you realize it is because I'm telling you about the meaning behind each song that I wrote. But on this set in Taichung, I did not, because we had a very, very short window to perform. So I had to keep it moving. Anyway, all right. That's what I learned from that. After in Hengchuan Shore Bar, I think we had like, I don't know, 18 people or something like that, 16 people, paid audience. So a bit better, but still not like the first show that we did down there. But our performance was so much better. Our performance was great. We did Just Wanna Sing, which is the opening song on the set. It's been the opening song on the set ever since I started performing this music. I just feel like so comfortable starting off with that song. It's like got some meaning to it, and it also has a really nice punch when the band kicks in. So it's like you realize, okay, this is a rock band we're playing. I love starting with that song, but I've never felt like that song sounded good when we start, for whatever reason. And I was thinking maybe it's because we need one song to get settled in as a band to perform. We always just need that first song to get settled in. But it was like, the thought is like, why don't you start with a different song then? And obviously I said why I like to start with that song, but also in rehearsal, it's like usually our strongest song. So it's like, why wouldn't I start with it? It makes sense to start with it. And it's like, one of our most solid, tightest songs. And then for some reason, whenever we actually do perform, I feel like it's so shaky. So anyway, having said that, in Hengchuan, we nailed it. That was the first time we were all like, "Whoa, that sounded good." And sadly, very, very sadly, I did not record it. I forgot to start recording in Hengchuan for that first song. And so we started recording on the second song. The rest of the set was all right. It was the best we've played. And I feel like we're like finally acceptable. Like this is good. We're tight. I don't have to worry too much about things. We're like building. There's still a lot more to progress, but we're good. Like this is a show I can be proud of. And then fast forward 2 days, my drummer tells me he can't play anymore. I don't know. I have no reason not to take him at his word, take him what he says is at face value. But so he said that he's just too busy. His business. He's a freelancer, and his business is just booming now, and he doesn't have time. And maybe that's true. No reason to doubt him. But also maybe he's just not feeling it anymore. If you want to read between the lines, there's nothing to read in between the lines. But I will say, I feel like from his perspective, being in his shoes, like he's put in a lot of effort and has gotten very little back from it. So I could understand him kind of being tired of doing this, and not wanting to commit to more of the same if there's no growth trajectory or progress. So that really woke me up in a few ways. I finally felt like the drummer, he's great. I love him. But I did feel before that I was always on shakiest ground with him. Like I felt like he's a good drummer, but like he's not quite doing everything to like hold us together the way I want it. And now for the first time he was there, and I was like, yes, we're there. Now we can like start taking off. And then he's out. So it kind of was a gut punch. I mean, he's really cool about it. I wrote something about like, all right, I'm so sad to hear this, man. But maybe we'll play again in the future. Maybe I'll be like calling you out as desperation, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So, we're ending on good terms, and I think there's still an open door to doing more. And like I said, he put in a lot of effort with no reward. And so if I'm feeling him right, I think that if I got to the stage where I'm playing big shows and I can pay him, or even if I can't pay him, even if like there's just reason to play, like there's crowds, we play important shows, things like that, I think he'd be willing to come back to do that. That's just, the effort to what he's getting out of it, that equation was imbalanced. And if I can make it more rewarding to play with me, he probably would. So that's where the drummer situation stands. But what that means is if I'm going to book some more shows and try to grow still, I need a new drummer. I saw Axel had his birthday party. I saw this Taiwanese drummer named Jin Ring. This was before my drummer told me he was bailing, but I already knew that my drummer was going to be gone for 3 months this summer. And so I knew I would need to find somebody to replace my drummer for like the month and a half that I would still be here and he's gone. So I talked to Jin. Jin was like, yes, I want to play. So that was a positive. He was down. I also know Axel's drummer has said that he could step in when needed. So that might be an option as well, because since I play with Axel all the time, we could just have his drummer step in as well. And just to cut through all of this, that's actually the direction I'm probably going to go. Sorry, Jin. It just makes more sense. If I'm playing with Axel, I just keep Axel's band, and then I come and sing. And the reason why I think, obviously, logistically, it makes sense, but it's a little weird to me because I feel like I lose my band identity completely. Now, suddenly, I don't have my own band. I am a performer, and then I have my guitarist is the guitarist for Axel's band, Axel. My bassist is the bassist for Axel's band, and my drummer is the drummer for Axel's band. Suddenly, I no longer have an identity as a band, and I realized that is the way it should be. I am a solo performer with a backing band, and it makes sense for my backing band to be Axel's band. And I'm going to now start thinking of myself when it comes to Project Maximus as a solo project. And I have musicians who support me whenever we do live shows. And so, along with this change, I'm also going to pivot much harder into focusing on non-performance growth. For the last 5 months or whatever, I've just been solely thinking, okay, I'm going to get my band, we're going to sound awesome, and then we're going to start playing. And we're going to grow, we're going to do festivals, we're going to do bigger festivals, blah, blah, blah. And I realize now I really should focus on just growing online and building my musical brand as a solo person. And when I get called to do shows or festivals, then I will have a band, just a supporting band. But otherwise, I'm a solo act. And I'm realizing that that's the direction to go in. So it was a huge, huge moment for me to realize this. And concurrently this month, I happen to also be talking to some music coaches, several different music coaches that I'm considering working with, and several brand digital marketing consultants that I'm also considering working with. And I think I'm really excited. I think that this is going to be a chance to really expand and grow just as a solo musician and not worrying about playing in bands and all that stuff. So now I can really, it also helps me separate psychologically. I do have that band Electric Monk, play with them. I'm a band member and we do our band stuff. But then I also have my solo project. So I'm not clashing multiple bands together. I have my solo project and I play as a band. Play with a band occasionally. And I'm really, really going to focus on growing it. And I think this also, it's just so many things fit together so nicely. This also allows me to not have to fret so much and worry so much about the fact that I'm traveling and I'm leaving Taiwan so often for long stretches of time, blah, blah, blah. I think I really can figure out a way to make this work without me having like an ever-present music group that's ready to go in Taiwan. I don't need to. Now, have I wasted my time building this for the last year and a half? No, I don't think so. I think it's good to have like the acoustic band whenever we want to perform acoustic trio stuff. There will be opportunities that come. And then full band, there will be opportunities too. So I think it's good that I have that, but I'm excited about the new focus and direction that I'm going to take. So, all right, that's about it for March. Lily and I, we finally got on the schedule to record our song at John's studio. We have a date set. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Lily is leaving. She's going to leave Taiwan. So this is our last chance, last hurrah. I'm going to try and convince her to record 2 of our songs. I think she should for sure. I mean, we have 3 really good songs, but I get that the third one is kind of a very different vibe and style than what she's going after. So we don't need to do that one. I really want to record the other 2 songs that we've written. And then she has a farewell show, which maybe I'll play on. I don't know for sure, but possibly I'll play with her. So we'll have like one final concert as well before she leaves. I don't know if I mentioned that Red Room and Rev Now closed. Did I say this last month? So Red Room, like very, very special place in my heart, really allowed me to build up my confidence and my chops. They just closed out of nowhere overnight. Totally unexpected. So that place is gone. If I was in a different place and stage in my career, I would consider buying it. I don't think I have the time to deal with that right now. So sadly, hopefully somebody else buys it and runs it as a music venue still. because this is really the type of venue that I would love to have. I would love to have a venue like that. And then Rev Now closed. Rev Now, right? Also, even though I didn't love Rev Now so much, it also has a very special place in my heart because it's the start of my time, my doing music again. It was like the birthplace of the site of my rebirth as a musician, and I'll always be grateful to them for giving me that space and also for supporting me to the extent that they did. So Rev Now closed. I was there. It was like last week. I think I was there for their last night open. Um, and so yeah, venues are closing. And then Clash. Oh, one of my favorite venues to play at. They have such good sound, such good equipment. And Clash is closing in June. So everywhere is closing, and I never got to go back there. I always said I was going to go back to Clash once I had like at least a small audience that I could count on to show up. But we're not going to perform there anymore because they're booked up. They're closing in June, and they are already solidly booked. So everywhere is closing. It's too bad. So what's happening next? April, we have a show booked for. Oh yeah, so May Jam is coming up, and so May Jam. I don't think I got accepted to May Jam. I think that my live recordings, are not good enough. I don't know, or there's some confusion over me being part of Axel's band or not part of Axel's band. So Axel's band got invited, but Project Maximus did not, and I don't believe Electric Monk did either. Although we played last year, so it might be. It was always hard to see that them bringing us in 2 years in a row, but I don't know. Anyway, Project Maximus is not playing May Jam. However, Project Maximus was invited to play one of the pre-May Jam shows. And Electric Monk was also invited to play a pre-May Jam show. So Electric Monk will be playing in Taichung. But I haven't decided if Project Maximus is going to go down to Tainan for that pre-show or not. It might be a little bit too difficult to put all the pieces together for that. It might not be worth it either. Then we have Jade Music Festival. So a couple of the people that I met last year, they'll be coming back. So I'll go see them, support them. I did not get invited to Jade Music Festival, which is fine. I think there could have been a mix-up. That's possible, but I'm just going to assume there was no mix-up. I just didn't make the cut, and I'll just work harder and hopefully make the cut next year. I think if I grow the way I hope to by focusing on the online stuff, then there's no way they can't accept me in the future. So that's that. And I'm kind of over it. I mean, I like playing. Of course, I love playing shows. I'd love to play those shows, but I do also feel like the energy and effort is not worth the return that we get back out of it after a while. I mean, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but it's not a slam dunk like, oh, we should do every show that we can. It's not necessarily worth it each time. So I will really start to focus in on what is worthwhile and what isn't, and go from there. So I don't know if there's other things to say or share. I always think of stuff and I usually don't remember to write it down. So anyway, of course. The biggest thing is I am starting to release new music again. So April 10th is going to be the first single to drop. And then every 4 weeks, I think I'll be dropping another single until my 5-track EP is out this summer. Then when I go back to the studio with Josh, we'll plan to record for next year's EP, I guess. And I've got a strong focus on Chinese songs now. So we'll have several Chinese songs to record, at least, maybe more, at least 2, maybe 3 or more. I don't know how much I can do. And then the recording in Taiwan, maybe I mentioned this before, that we were going to do some recording for Project Maximus. I think that's a stretch. So maybe next year, maybe once I figure out the release schedule and how to push music online, I'll do that. But for now, it's too uncertain. So okay, wow, this got long. There's lots of ups and downs, but really it feels like things make sense, are falling into place, and I should be pushing. I should be pushing in the appropriate direction now, I think. And and one last thing I'm gonna say, Heng Chun, I met this girl named Fan Fan. She owns a restaurant bar venue, and her place is sick. I was just blown away. I've heard of this place so many times, never knew until I saw in person how sick this place is. So definitely going to play there in the future. Okay, bye bye.